Welcome back to America Decides. In less than 90 minutes, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris will meet on the debate stage. So for more on this, let's bring in our political panel, Kadia Goba and Jasmine Wright. Kadia is a politics reporter for Semafor, and Jasmine is politics reporter for NOTUS. Ladies, great to see you. Okay, 90 minutes to go until a 90-minute debate. We're almost there.
We are.
You guys have both been on the trail covering these candidates for a long time now. It's wild that they have not met in person. This is the first time they are meeting face to face. Jasmine, I know you've been covering Harris. I know there's a big question about the rules of this debate and how these muted mics might work this time around. How is her campaign preparing for that? Because it seemed to serve as an advantage for Trump last time.
Yeah, I think that they've actually had to readjust their strategy because it came down that the mics will be muted. And that's because they had prepped the vice president to be ready to interrupt the former president if he had said something that was a lie or a mistruth or erroneous, really trying to goad him and get into them and interrupt him in a way that maybe Hillary Clinton didn't do as much in 2016. But of course, now the mics are muted. So mics are muted. So they've had to really redirect that strategy and make it so that she will answer if he says a lie or says a mistruth in the top of her question, and then get into that future forward policy part of her question, trying to do her number one goal, which is not just to respond to Trump, but it's also to show Americans what her future forward path is and what her future forward policies could be.
Yeah, and Kadia, I know you cover Congress in addition to covering everything else. Lawmakers are watching tonight for these policy proposals, as well as average Americans who want to know what they are as well. What have you been hearing?
Yeah, they're very excited. Democrats on the Hill. I've heard Mark Vesey tell me he's just waiting for her to kick his ass. If I could say that. But also at the same time, you know, I talked to Becca Ballant and a few other people who said they want her to not pay attention to his rhetoric. They want her to not get stalled by that at all. They want her to focus on what, you know, talk to the American people. Push him aside, ignore him, don't even address him, and really home in on what she wants to do to move things forward. And I think that's interesting, and I think she's probably been practicing that during her stay here in Pennsylvania.
And, you know, Jasmine, it's interesting, too, because Kamala Harris has debated a lot. I mean, we covered a lot of debates in 2020 when she was running for the nomination. Then she debated Vice President Mike Pence in 2020, but this is the first general election presidential debate for her. Yeah. And you could argue that the stakes are really high for her because people are still learning who she is, even though she's the sitting vice president. Whereas for Donald Trump, he is such a known quantity to Americans. They kind of know what they're getting. How is she kind of preparing for that?
Yeah, I think the reality is that there's very little that Donald Trump can say that really is going to surprise Americans, but there's a lot that she can say that's going to surprise Americans. And I think that latest New York Times poll, where it had about 20% of Americans, maybe a little bit more, still wanted to learn about her and what she would do as president, was reflected in some of the campaign or the outside sources' internal pollings. People want to know more about the vice president, so that's why this moment is so high stakes for her, and that's why she's going to talk a lot about the policy, maybe not tit for tat, point by point, percent by percent, but the broad strokes of how she wants to take this country in potentially a different direction. Now, I don't think she's going to criticize Joe Biden, but I think that she's going to try to provide some space between that and show that she can be the change agent in the way that a lot of America views Trump. And so that is why it's so high stakes for her. But it's also about not letting those lies stick to her. That is another huge part of her preparation, because she hasn't been confronted face to face in a long time, more than 4 years, by someone who might disrespect her on stage. And so that's also been a part of the prep. But of course, people want to know about her, and she wants to tell a future forward story that weaves in her personal life as well as policy.
Yeah, and you know, it's fascinating because there has been so much money spent on this race. We've had 2 conventions, and yet things have kind of settled into where they were before, which is this is a neck-and-neck race and is likely going to be for the next couple of months until Election Day. So, you know, if you're a voter kind of looking at this debate, are you looking at it to change your mind, to show up to vote at all? I mean, obviously debates have consequences. We saw 2 months ago that it, essentially led to Joe Biden getting out of the race. But, as a voter, kind of how are you assessing?
Listen, I think it was clear. This is going to be a tight race no matter how you slice it. The uptick that we saw was actually Kamala Harris making up ground from where Joe Biden might have been slipping away because of age, because of the horrible debate, what have you. So I think it's right back where it needs to be, but still, to your point, I think she still has the burden of proof. And with that, more of an advantage to show people who she is and to prove to those swing voters and those Republicans who kind of need this permission structure to say it's okay to maybe not go with the party line if they're unhappy with their current candidate, to win them over and to say, okay, you know what, she's worth voting for.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, there are so few voters in the middle these days that it's a base versus base election. So to your point, consolidating and energizing that base, that might be the audience for tonight. Well, we will stay tuned. It's great to have you both. Very much appreciative of all your reporting all cycle, and to be continued. Just hang in there a few more weeks.